1/3 of all Indian children in this country each year are taken away from their homes and sent off to federal boarding schools. That's the way the government does it. Indians have never had much choice. Now, maybe they will have a choice because of what is happening here, because of a precedent that is being set here in Ramah, New Mexico. 2 years ago, this high school was closed. Indian children were forced off to federal boarding schools in Utah, Oklahoma. A young Ivy League lawyer came in and filed a suit on behalf of the Indians of Ramah to force the government to reopen the school. Well, he lost the case, but he stayed. He talked with the Indians, and they came up with another plan. If the government would not give them a school in Ramah, they would make one themselves.
That's a good point.
So today, 40 Navajo laborers who would otherwise be unemployed are working. From the wreck of the old school building, they are fashioning a new school. The Navajo children of Ramah will be able to come home. In fact, the Navajo children of Ramah are already home. They will spend the summer here in tents next to the new school, and while workmen finish the building, the students and the Indian leaders who will run the school will sit down and try to plan what kind of school they want it to be. They know what they don't want. They don't want it to be another white man's school trying to make white men out of Indians.
We want to teach them how to learn their own language and let them learn about our history, and the only way this school is going to help these children is by have all the parents take part in it to see what their children are learning
And to see that they remain Indians.
Yes, that's what we want them to be.
Mrs. Lorenzo did not finish high school herself. None of the Indian leaders who will be on the school board ever finished high school. Some had no school at all. So they know they need help, and they're getting it. For instance, the Robert Kennedy Foundation sent a young volunteer who speaks Navajo. A Harvard-trained anthropologist read about it in a newspaper and came volunteering to teach in the new school. A dozen young people from a dozen places heard and came. The federal government will finance the new school. For the Navajos of Ramah, celebrating the other day with fry bread and mutton, this means their children are home. They have their own school. But there's more to it than this, because apparently other Indian communities will be allowed to do the same thing, to get their children home to their own schools. The precedent is being set here in Ramah. Jack Perkins, NBC News, Ramah, New Mexico.